How I reply to difficult emails in under 5 minutes. I used to spend 20 minutes staring at difficult emails, not because I didn't know what to say, because I didn't know how to say it. A complaint from a colleague, an unclear request, an email that needed the right tone. I'd write a sentence, delete it, rewrite it, and still not be happy with it. Then I started using a simple Claude workflow that cuts most of that process down to less than 5 minutes. But there's one mistake that almost made this workflow useless, and I'll show you exactly what it is later in the video. First, here's how this system works. In this video, I'll show you the exact prompt I use, a real example, and the 3 mistakes that make most AI-generated emails sound robotic or impossible to send. The hardest part about difficult emails usually isn't knowing what to say. Most of the time, you already know the message. The problem is turning that message into professional language that's clear, direct, and doesn't create unnecessary friction. That's where most people get stuck. I certainly did. Sometimes I'd spend 20 minutes rewriting the same email. Sometimes I'd avoid sending it altogether because I didn't want to get the wording wrong. The blank page creates friction, so I stopped writing these emails from scratch. The first step is identifying what the email actually needs to achieve, not what I want to say, what outcome I want. For example, maybe I need clarification on a vague request. Maybe I need to respond to a complaint professionally. Maybe I need to push back on a deadline without sounding defensive. That single objective gives Claude direction. Without it, the output becomes generic. With it, the draft becomes useful. This takes about 30 seconds. Then I open Claude and use this prompt. Help me write a professional reply to an unclear client request. The goal is to politely ask for clarification while sounding helpful and professional. Please thank them for the message, explain that more details are needed, ask for the timeline, and ask for the exact requirements. Keep it under 150 words. Professional, clear, and direct. That's it. Claude turns those instructions into a complete draft within seconds. Here's a real example. I recently received a work request that simply said, "We need the numbers urgently." That was the entire message. No deadline, no context, no explanation. Instead of guessing what they needed, I used this workflow. Claude generated a response that thanked them, asked which numbers were required, requested a deadline, and clarified the intended use. The result was professional, concise, and removed all ambiguity. The entire process took less than 5 minutes. Now, remember the mistake I mentioned earlier. The biggest mistake is giving Claude too little context. If your prompt is vague, the output will be vague. The second mistake is trusting the first draft immediately. Always review tone, accuracy, and missing details. The third mistake is using AI to think for you. That's not the goal. The goal is speed and clarity. You still decide what the email should accomplish. Claude simply helps translate your thoughts into professional language. The final step is review. I always check 3 things. Is the tone right? Is anything important missing? And does this sound like something I would actually send? Sometimes I ask Claude to make it more direct, sometimes softer, sometimes shorter. That usually takes less than a minute. The point isn't to let AI send emails for me. The point is to eliminate the blank page. This workflow turns a frustrating 20-minute task into a 5-minute process. And over time, that adds up. Not just in time saved, but in reduced mental friction. The exact prompt template is in the description if you want to copy it. If this was useful, check out my video on how I capture and organize ideas with Claude and Notion. What type of email do you find hardest to write? Drop it in the comments. If you like simple systems that save time and make life easier, subscribe. Every Thursday on LifeOS, I share one simple AI workflow you can start using immediately.